Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom is the sequel to 2015's Jurassic World and is the fifth film in the Jurassic Park franchise. In the 3 years since the previous film, the volcano on Isla Nublar, the location of the Jurassic World Park, has become active. Claire recruits Owen to try and rescue some of the dinosaurs, but things become more complicated when it becomes clear not everyone has the best intentions for the dinosaurs. Now, I've said it many times before that the original Jurassic World to me is a Taco Bell movie. It is fast food entertainment. I know it's not good for me, but I sure do like to watch it all of the time. This movie I thought was a bold and interesting new direction for the franchise, but I'm not quite sure if I liked it, so we're gonna dive into all of that fun stuff. How about you? Did you like it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Where do you fall on that mix? Tell me down below in the comment section, did you like it more than Jurassic World? Did you like it less than Jurassic World? Let's have a nice, lively discussion. With that said, let's get started talking about the good. For me, the best thing about this movie is that it has the best thrills and scares and sense of tension since the original Jurassic Park. Whenever there's dinosaurs on screen, you feel like people are in danger. You feel like lava when it's coming towards characters could do something that you don't want to have happen, and that sense of tension runs throughout the entire movie. It finds all the little things in each situation that can go wrong do go wrong, and you're worried, did they get this? Did they capture this in time? Did the wrong thing break? From beginning to end in this movie, you have this sense of danger throughout, and that's what was great about the original Jurassic Park, is they found all the little ways to make you feel on the edge of your seat. That's true of this movie as well. Also with this movie, I thought they did a much better job of fleshing out both Owen and Claire. They have a little bit more to their characters. In particular, Claire, who was just so one-dimensional as the businesswoman that was all about money, and then she's scared for her family members, but there wasn't a lot to her character as a human being. Here we get to spend more time with her as someone that seems to have compassion, cares about things, has a value set, makes decisions based off that value set that is consistent and makes sense. Likewise, we get more time with Owen as a character to kind of understand his relationship with the dinosaurs, why he's doing what he's doing, why he might not do certain things. And just as a Chris Pratt movie, you get some great Chris Pratt type moments. Owen was a little bit more serious in the first movie. He certainly had kind of the Chris Pratt bite to him. This one is a lot more kind of the Chris Pratt-isms in it while still feeling true to the Owen character. They use him for a little bit more the fun, the humor in this film, where they don't have some of the comedic side characters that they had in the first film, so it all kind of goes to Chris Pratt a little bit more. And for me, I'm all for more Chris Pratt doing Chris Pratt type things, so that gets a thumbs up for me. It's also a very different type of story for the Jurassic Park franchise. Based off the trailers and certain kind of general statements about the movie, you can certainly see some similarities to The Lost World, but how things actually play out, where things actually go, it's quite different from the other films in the franchise. It has its own unique, distinct flavor to it. It has its own distinct tone. It's much darker than the previous films, really much darker than any of the other films, and has a much more sour taste to it, which I would say is good in the sense that they're trying something different, and I want to applaud them for doing that. But at the same time, it also has plenty of the schlocky, ridiculous fun from Jurassic World of finding ridiculous scenarios to have Chris Pratt battling against dinosaurs and dinosaur hybrid monster type things. It has all kinds of absurd situations that we come to expect from a sequel to Jurassic World. You get some of it in this film as well. From there, let's move on to the mixed aspects of this film. And the key thing that comes to mind here is that the movie introduces a bunch of interesting ideas about if Jurassic World existed and if cloning technology existed. The movie kind of touches on them. It throws these ideas out there of how would the news and the governments respond to an island full of dinosaurs that are out of control, that are in danger, and the sorts of protests that would happen, explorations, calling congressmen, all those types of things are kind of touched on in the movie. And likewise, if they're experimenting with this idea that out there's the ability to clone dinosaurs, they're exploring what other sorts of ideas could happen with cloning technology. It's touched on in this movie. The problem is it doesn't fully explore these ideas. It's not that the movie is centered around this idea of what would governments do or centered around what about could you do with this sort of technology. It's just kind of ideas kind of put out there a little bit. And so it's like, oh, that's pretty cool. Oh, that's an interesting idea. Oh, that's an interesting direction to take this. But none of those directions fully satisfied. You didn't get all that you wanted out of these ideas. It was just like, yeah, that might have been a better movie than the movie you gave me. Oh, that would have been cool if we see where that goes, and they don't see where it goes. From there, let's move on to the negative. First off, too many people in this movie are way too dumb. There's so many scenarios that kind of happen where you're like, why is that person not turning around as all those people are yelling at them as they're standing on an island full of dinosaurs? Wait, what did they think was going to happen if you put dinosaurs in this context? Wait, why isn't anyone checking this? Wait, why is this person left alone? There's so many moments throughout the movie that depend on the fact that people are stupid, that they're unsupervised, and that they're just being wildly irresponsible with dinosaurs and just assuming everything's gonna go great with these dinosaurs in this environment. Also, the villain characters in the movie start off with a little bit of nuance, exploring different sorts of ideas, but as the movie progresses, the movie smooths off all of that nuance and we're left with these one-dimensional sociopaths, and it feels like they cheapened the characters that they introduced at the beginning of the movie. There's also these two millennial interns in the movie, and one of them is one of the most annoying adult characters that I've ever seen in a movie. He's just complaining, he's screeching whenever something scary happens. And some of it feels like they're trying to play it as somewhat of a comedic sidekick, but it just comes off annoying. And because he's so associated with the other millennial intern, it cheapens her character. And her character might have been really interesting and someone I would have liked to see more of, but because she's so associated with the male intern, that the pair of them just annoyed me throughout the entire movie. Without wanting to go into too many details, the movie has too many plot lines going on. There's several ideas introduced in the film that just don't need to be there, and they crowd the movie so we don't have time to explore some of the more important ideas to what's kind of going on. And in particular, some of the stuff about working with different cloning technologies and the monster type things, that doesn't really need to be in the movie for the movie to work. Just the dinosaur plot line can tell this entire story, and so it just feels kind of crowded with these other sorts of ideas that are in there. Related to somewhat to all of that, there's a plot twist in this movie that is telegraphed so far in advance that it might be the quickest that I have ever guessed a plot twist in any movie ever. As soon as they put the pieces out there, went, oh, this is what's going on, and that's exactly what was going on in the movie. And one final thing, the movie gets so dark at times and explores ideas about extinction and the volcano on the island that kind of sucks a lot of the fun out of the franchise, where there's just something majestic about a lot of the films in the Jurassic Park series of seeing the dinosaurs on this island and they're brought back to life, that when you have a movie about their existence being threatened, it just sucks all the fun out of the movie. And there are sequences that were supposed to be thrilling that just kind of came off tragic and depressing to me. And so the emotion I needed to have in these action sequences simply wasn't there, and it left a bit of a bad aftertaste afterwards. So with all that said, I had a lot of negative things to say about the movie. At the same time, it succeeded at the most important things that it has to succeed at, which is having thrilling, exciting, tension-building dinosaur sequences and some lead characters that I enjoyed spending some time with. So overall, I would just slightly recommend this movie by giving it a B-. And on an entertainment level, I would go a 7 out of 10. While there's a lot of story problems, there's a couple of very annoying characters, there are definitely some threads that needed to be explored a little bit more. It did deliver just enough of the dinosaur stuff that I needed for me to kind of just barely recommend it to you. And this one's a little bit tricky to do a recommendation on, because as I was talking with some other people on Twitter about this one, I could see where a lot of people that didn't like Jurassic World maybe liking this one a little bit more, and a bunch of people that like Jurassic World not liking this one because it's such a distinct type of story inside of the Jurassic Park franchise. Anyway, that's my take on the movie. How about you? What did you think about it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Is it better than Jurassic World? Is it worse than Jurassic World? All that fun stuff. Tell me your thoughts down below in the comment section. I know people have strong opinions on this franchise, so let's have a lively yet respectful conversation down there. And with all that said, if you're new to my channel, please consider clicking that subscribe button. And if you've already clicked that subscribe button, considering ringing that bell so you get notifications whenever I put up new videos. But the key thing here is I don't want to just talk about movies. I want to talk about movies with you. So please join me down in the comment section. Let's have that lively discussion I was talking about. Come back tomorrow as I rank all of the movies in the Jurassic Park franchise. And as always, thank you for watching.